Hello and welcome to another episode of JumpCast. I am your host, Alex, and joining me, as usual, are my lovely co-hosts, Simon.
Hello.
And Charlotte.
Ahoy, hoy.
We're keeping it going. Love it. I love it. I love
Every
it so
week,
much.
it just fills me with joy.
So, it's been exactly 7 days since we were here in this position. So, guys, what have we been up to, Simon? What have you been getting up to over the past 7 days?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Alex.
Wait, but Charlotte, we'll just move on. Charlotte, how was your week?
I've got so much to say.
No, Simon, what have you been up to?
Well, also that's a very personal question. Alex. No, I've been I've been watching TV again. The old idiot box.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've been watching Mayor of Easttown upon many people's recommendations.
Miss Winslet.
Miss Winslet, she's so good. I loved it. Managed to binge the whole thing in like 3 days. And I mean, it's easily done. It's like 8 episodes. And yeah, absolutely loved it.
Cool. Anything else? Any other new to you watches this week in terms of films, or
only what we're going to be discussing later, really?
Oh, okay.
I've been very task-minded, you know?
Keep them lips sealed then.
Yeah.
Later on. Charlotte, how about you? What have you been up to? Anything nice?
I finished Boardwalk Empire, which was amazing. I don't know how we're not talking about that show. It's phenomenal. The cast every season just got better and better, and faces that were really familiar bringing their A game. I loved it. And I started The White Lotus. I've got 1 episode left, actually.
Oh, yes.
Cool. Yeah, everybody's been talking about that on Twitter recently. Yeah,
it's so dark. It's really, really funny.
Yeah, so I believe.
Kind of off-kiltery. Succession is probably the most obvious comparison, but I'm sure you can do better.
Okay.
Talking of Succession, Series 3 is coming next month.
Cannot wait.
Oh my god!
Yes,
it's coming.
Oh my god, I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
I'm going to rewatch Series 2, I think, in preparation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cannot wait. Awesome. Well, I've had some pretty baller new to me watches this week. I watched Moulin Rouge for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Moulin Rouge ! Never have I been so attracted to Ewan McGregor in my entire life. Oh my God.
Wow. As a kind of sappy.
It's so good. And then when he starts singing, my God, wow.
Oh man. Well, you know, come what may, he will get you.
Yeah. Oh, that song is so. My God, it's amazing. Like, I just love how it's so interesting, isn't it? Because it has this. The whole point of the film is that it's using pre-existing music. But then you've got this emotive, wonderful original song that is just phenomenal. So yeah, love it. And I also watched On the Rocks, the Apple TV Sofia Coppola
Bill
film,
Murray.
which I adored. I thought that it was really, really good, properly witty, properly funny. Bill Murray's great. Rashida Jones is wonderful, and Marlon Wayans is in it as well. Yeah, really, really good stuff. And my TV list got longer because I haven't been watching much TV lately, but a new TV show on Netflix, Sandra Oh, The Chair.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Meant to be quite funny. And also 9 Perfect Strangers has started with
That's
Nicole
on my list.
And Melissa McCarthy and Shailene Woodley, and I believe maybe Samara Weaving as well. I can't remember exactly.
I really didn't like the book, so I'm probably not going to do it. I love Leah Moriarty, I think her name is. The Husband's Secret is phenomenal. That I can't believe that one hasn't been made, because I thought that was stronger than Little White Lies in terms of the novel. But I didn't get on board with 9 Perfect Strangers, although the cast is stacked, like you said.
Very much so. I think we're going to try and give the first few episodes a go this evening. We'll see. So, well, that's awesome. We're going to move on swiftly to the news, the new stuff in the world of film this week. Starting off very quickly before we get into the meatier stuff. Apparently, MGM have confirmed at CinemaCon that No Time to Die will be coming out when it's meant to be at the end of September. So no more delays. It is coming. No Time to Die,
I
literally.
thought you were
I
going
thought
to
it wasn't
say
a film.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say. It confirmed it is a film.
It is a film. No, it is. Well, you know my theory that it's not a film. That it's actually only the stuff in the trailer that exists.
It's going to be the shortest royal premiere ever when they're at the Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah,
it's
that
just
looks
2.5
fancy,
minutes.
doesn't it? Yeah.
That is going to be very, very fancy schmancy. So yeah, exciting times. It's but just over a month away. Oh my gosh.
I know, God. I mean, it almost doesn't feel real at this point. Like, I know that we've been like ragging on, life as it is, just pushing these things back, and now we're actually getting these things coming. It's like, oh, is that soon? Like, it's 4 weeks away.
The question was asked, do you know what eternal bliss feels like? And this is what it feels like. So from the world of spies to the world of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we're going to be talking quite a lot about the MCU today. A lot's been happening. We've been fed this week quite a lot. Starting off with the fact that Anthony Mackie has officially signed on to play Sam Wilson in Captain America 4.
Nice.
Yeah, great. Sorry, Charlotte, you go ahead.
No, that's what I would say. Nice. Like,
It's just nice. It is just nice. It's just lovely. I can't wait. Obviously, we probably knew that was going to happen. It was very much in the trajectory of the thing, with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Or it's been out for long enough now. We can call it Captain America and the Winter Soldier. So yeah, very exciting stuff. Can't wait.
There was a bit
Really
of a bit of an uproar. I don't know if you guys saw this when the first What If episode came out.
Yes, they changed it, didn't they, on the Twitter
They changed
to Peggy?
Yeah, and it's like I kind of see what they were doing, but it's like people have been waiting this long for Sam to take on the mantle, and then it's taken away just for a gimmick. It's like, read the room, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And in other news, we knew that Ironheart herself, Riri Williams, was going to be getting her own Disney Plus TV show somewhere in the near future, but it has been confirmed that Dominique Thorne, who is going to be playing Riri Williams as Ironheart, is going to be making her MCU debut in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. What do we think about that?
I think I don't know. Like, there's so little to know about Black Panther 2, especially given the tragic circumstances from last year.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be so interesting to see how, like, I don't want to say recover, but how they move on.
Yeah, very much so.
Because they've said they're not going to recast T'Challa. They've said they're not going to do anything to besmirch Chadwick's legacy. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go from here.
I would like it if they follow M'Baku, but that's because I'm here for Winston Duke. He could just sit there in a throne for 2 hours, and
I absolutely love that. I do, however, feel it's probably going to lie firmly within the laps of one of the wonderful women of Wakanda. Whether that be, of course, Okoye, or Nakia, or of course Shuri, although Letitia Wright has been a little bit problematic.
And then we've got Michaela Cole's joined the cast, isn't she?
She has, yes. Oh my gosh, this film's going to be great. I can't wait. You know what? Phase 4 is stacked, and I'm just so excited for everything. I can't wait, honestly. It's going to be really, really great. We're going to be talking more MCU in just a little bit, but let's move on very swiftly to some more London Film Festival news. We found out that Jane Campion's The Power of the Dog is going to be showing at London Film Festival. How are we with that? Benedict Cumberbatch and Jesse Plemons?
Yeah,
yes,
yes,
and Kirsten Dunst. I'm curious about it. I think I've intentionally not exposed myself to a lot of info about it, so I'm going in fairly blind, but I'm excited. I've seen a lot of very positive buzz off the back of other film festivals, so yeah, I think my excitement is more reserved for the second film that's going to be announced.
Well, the second film is the closing film of London Film Festival, so of course we know that Netflix's The Harder They Fall is going to be opening the festival, but Joel Cohen's The Tragedy of Macbeth starring Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand, is going to be closing the festival, and I think Twitter. I think Twitter went into a little bit meltdown mode when that was announced, because my God, are people excited for that movie?
As an English teacher, I'm extremely excited because any good version is much appreciated, as we teach it every single year. And it means one less lesson, but also if students connect with the text, it helps so much. I think watching a film is a really great tool of revision. And if we can just imagine in their hands what kind of movie we could be looking at.
Oh my word. When was the last like major Shakespeare adaptation on the big screen? Because
the only Shakespeare adaptation that exists is William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet.
Much Ado About Nothing, Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, yeah. Say, because there was the Macbeth that was is it Justin Kurzel's adaptation?
Yeah, Fassbender.
Yeah, I didn't mind that, it was a bit trippy, but yeah, I dug it.
And it's not the only Shakespeare adaptation that we're getting over the next kind of few months. And I know that is it Anne and Juliet?
Oh, are they making that into a film?
Yeah, I believe so. Because is it a musical?
In the West End.
Yeah,
that they're making. I think so. Anyway, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's something else.
Having a quick Google.
Okay.
No, you know what?
I'm having a quick Google as well.
It isn't Anne Juliet. Let me tell you what it is. It's Shakespeare adaptation films. I've got this wrong. I think I just got them mixed up. But there's one coming out called. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, the suspense is killing me now.
You know what? This is actually proving to be harder to find than I thought it was going to.
We've had The King already, the Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah.
Sorry, every time it comes up.
Wait. Oh my gosh. What is going on here? I've just made a film up here. I've made a film up here that doesn't exist. Clearly.
Do you really like Shakespeare? Is that why?
It's just my first ever true love. I just can't keep away from it anymore.
Well, the course of true love never did run smooth, so.
Oh.
I'm just pulling a face. I couldn't even make a noise at that point.
Wow. I'm right, guys. I just typed in upcoming Shakespeare movies on Google.
Oh wow. This is the in-depth research we get on JumpCast.
The first thing that came up was Steven Spielberg's West Side Story.
Well, there you go.
Well, it's Romeo and Juliet, so yeah.
It basically counts.
Yeah, but that's not what I was talking about.
Do you want to look later on and then refer back to this?
Yeah, we are. We're going to look later on.
We'll fix it in post.
Because there is a film. And it does exist. Anyway, sorry about this, Sam. Yeah, you're gonna have to cut quite a bit of that out. Okay, moving on. Very exciting news. Journey Smollett is going to be reprising her Birds of Prey role of Black Canary in a spin-off film for HBO Max.
I'm very, very hyped. I was a huge Green Arrow fan in the comic books when I was a teen, and I read like the Kevin Smith run, the Judd Apatow. So I'm really happy for this.
It does sound good. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't lie. I am excited for this. What I will say though is that, like, someone made this point not too long ago. I think it was when it was announced. Is that we've got this. We've got Batgirl and we've got Blue Beetle, all of which are non-white actors. Yeah, and they're not being given the big screen treatment, like they're HBO Max exclusives. It feels a bit like, come on, guys. Like, I don't want to, suggest anything.
Come to the table, but have the small chair.
Exactly, yeah, and like, especially with like the allegations, whether they're true or not, about how Ray Fisher was treated on Justice League. That's a whole can of worms there.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
But yeah, like, it just does not suggest a lot of change, at least in the way that DC's films side of things are being run. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to the projects themselves, and I don't want to, dunk on those those films themselves because I'm sure they'll be great and I'm looking forward to them. Especially this one because I love Birds of Prey. So anything that kind of spins off of that, yes, please. But it's just a shame, really, that it's not being given like absolute trumpet fanfare thing going on.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah, definitely. Right, moving on. Finally, Anya Taylor-Joy is apparently going to be in Robert Eggers' adaptation of Nosferatu.
Yes. 1,000 times yes. Just took it to my veins.
Do we need remakes anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
it
doesn't matter. Yeah.
With that director and that cast, if Robert Pattinson is going to play the titular character, then I'm here for it. I'll buy my ticket. Yeah.
Wait. Sparkly Nosferatu.
No matter what he does, it always comes back to bats.
It is interesting. Very good choice, I think, with Robert Pattinson, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's confirmed, but it seems to be the way things are leaning.
Yeah.
But
if we're to go by other actors that Robert Eggers has worked with in the past,
well, yes. One of them has also played that character, also in the same film as Robert Pattinson. Yes. So, that'll be a good lineage to follow, certainly.
Definitely. Well, that is it for the news for this week, and we're just going to be moving straight to the reviews today because I don't think any trailers came out.
It's been a really quiet week.
Yeah,
really quiet week.
So nothing that I can think of anyway.
No. You're thinking of bestsellers, the Aubrey Plaza and Michael Caine film.
Or Notebooks, the new one on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, no, I've got it now. No, it's The Starling, the Melissa McCarthy and Chris O'Dowd
Are you sure it
film.
wasn't Petite Maman, the new Siama film?
Oh, I think that's it.
Probably the biggest one, yeah.
Probably is, yeah, definitely. Well, we may as well just talk about those then, and nothing else at all that came out this week. Right? Okay, no, of course. Been really good week for trailers, and I mean, those trailers we already mentioned. We will go through them in a little bit of detail, but I'm sure we'll want to talk about the other two in a little more detail. So we'll start off with Petit Maman, which is Celine Sciamma's latest film after, of course, the absolute masterpiece that is Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I am so excited for this film. It's showing at TIFF, and I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna be so happy about the fact that I'm watching it. I can't wait. So excited.
The envy I feel right now. That trailer is beautiful.
It really is.
Had me in the feels. There was one point I thought I might cry from a trailer, which
definitely.
The Miyazaki references. I mean, Sciamma, sorry if I'm getting that wrong, herself said in an interview that she was inspired by his work, and like that has even just by the trailer itself, if you're going by like two sisters playing in a wood, I mean that is Totoro, isn't it? But
then when Marnie was there for the role of exploring your past and who you are.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm ready for it. Like, this is a November release, so it might still get an LFF showing as well.
I think it probably will, yeah.
I think it probably will as well. And if it is, I'm there. Like, I'm there 6 a.m. in the press crowd,
Get it watched. Yeah, no, I can't wait. It's going to be great. Now, moving on to Bestsellers, which is a film starring Michael Caine and Aubrey Plaza. And Michael Caine's playing this disgruntled old author that's not released a book in ages. And Aubrey Plaza is the young and up-and-coming agent that wants to help him release another book and to have, a good presence in the world of books and all that kind of stuff. And what do we think? I'm not quite sure, although I will genuinely watch anything if it has Aubrey Plaza in it.
Agreed. And I think as well, the quickest way to my heart is a grumpy curmudgeon with a heart of gold, usually wearing plaid, but not exclusively. And that means I'm here for this film.
Even the part where he physically assaults.
There'll be a reason he did it. Yeah. He pushed him too far. No, I don't.
I do. You know what? I'm here for Michael Caine physically assaulting people. just outside.
Just go straight out with it, Simon. Just
not even in films, just walking down the street,
Yeah, maybe Batman would have been better if Alfred had got in on the action.
Oi, Michael, weren't you in Jaws 4? I mean, that's just asking for trouble.
And then moving on to a Netflix release, it's called Night Books. I don't know too much about it, and it's still kind of a little bit ambiguous after the trailer, but basically Kristen Ritter plays this kind of weird witch woman, and she's haunting this boy who lives in a kind of a haunted type house, and she wants him to write a scary story for her every night, otherwise the hint is that she's going to kill him or something. I don't know, it seems maybe like that kind of film. Yeah,
maybe. I mean, it just goes to prove you shouldn't trust the witch in Apartment 23.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
My sound's gone.
Oh?
That's the excuse for why you didn't laugh at that top tier. Absolute mega class joke.
It was so bad. Like,
so come
bad.
on. Throw me a bone here.
No bones for me.
Oh,
or shall I say from me? Charlotte.
What, my sound dipping? It's back. I'm here.
Oh, are you here?
Hey.
Right. Also, that's strange. Okay. Well, right. Okay. I think we finished talking about that because Simon made an absolutely terrible joke.
Oh, right.
No, I made a great joke.
Yeah.
Very good joke.
I don't think you can say it again because it'll be even more unfunny than it was the first time.
A joke is immediately 1,000 times less funny if you repeat it. So a lesson that I've learned the hard way.
Okay, let's move on then. So a trailer that just came out a few hours before recording was a trailer for another Netflix film. It's also premiering at Toronto. Is The Starling, which stars Melissa McCarthy and Chris O'Dowd, and they're a couple. And I think Melissa McCarthy gets pregnant, and then she has a miscarriage, and it's just about them traversing the grief of that with the help of Kevin Kline, who plays an animal vet. And,
So I well, just off of the description that we had for the trailer, I thought, okay, this sounds like exactly my kind of film. And I watched the trailer, and after watching it, I just thought, yeah, this is exactly my kind of film. I mean, I love Melissa McCarthy when she does a dramatic role.
Oh, absolutely adore it.
Oh, so great. I love Chris O'Dowd in everything. And I mean, the same goes for Kevin Kline. And like, it does look a bit formula abiding, but it's a good formula.
I think in the best way possible. Yeah, definitely. How about you, Charlotte?
Yeah, I'm definitely up for it. Melissa McCarthy, since Gilmore Girls days, I've been on board. Love everything. Hang on, that's a lie. I was going to lie there. I've loved most of the things she's been in.
Yeah, definitely.
When she's good, she's phenomenal in like the right hands. And I feel like this film, from the trailer alone, looks like she's in safe hands.
Basically, not a husband.
No comment.
What was it? I think I saw a tweet the other day, or somebody might have said this to me in person actually, where somebody was like, I think that Melissa McCarthy needs to creatively divorce Ben Falcone. We'll leave that one at that. Well, it is now time to talk the talk. We're back into the MCU. We've got two absolutely massive trailers from the MCU this week. Starting off, of course, with Chloe Zhao's Eternals. Oh my God, I can't wait.
Chloe Zhao, make an ugly film challenge, please. Just prove you're human.
Yeah. So, what do we think? I mean, I think it looks absolutely beautiful. It just looks insanely good. And I think, in interviews, Kevin Feige's been saying like, Chloe Zhao is just this perfect filmmaker. I mean, she is this perfect filmmaker. And, she's bringing something to the MCU that I think hasn't been brought before, and it just seems like it's going to be an absolute hit.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think one thing that I've noticed with well, I hate to use that phrase, but the IP, I need to watch myself now. But like the lesser known characters and stories and things like that do get a little bit more of a risk taken. I think like they had that with James Gunn with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And like with this as well, it just feels like they are basically going, go on then, Chloe, here's a budget 500 times anything that you've ever been able to work with before. Just go make something fun. And so she was involved with this from like the first draft to post-production. So
yeah,
this is going to be her film all over it. And I honestly, like, I think it would be interesting to see how like audiences react to it, because like I mean, her style of filmmaking is very like it's very patient and very gentle and very like,
yeah,
you know, not flashy and crazy and everything else. So it'd be interesting to see how audiences who have been trained a little bit to be a bit more impatient react to that.
It's strange, isn't it? Because on paper, it shouldn't. Chloe Zhao directing a Marvel movie shouldn't work, but it seems like it's just the perfect match. Like,
particularly with what's happened in the MCU at the current time, like we're coming back after 50% of the population has returned, the kind of trauma that's been experienced by both parties here and those who have been snapped. I think now's the time for that kind of generic take, that atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely. Did we have a favorite moment from the trailer? I'll start. When the bus turns into petals, oh my god! I think I was just like,
that is stunning.
That at that moment, I was like, "Give me this movie now." So good.
I appreciated that they went for the annoying movie over explainers and just like, okay, fine, just shut up now. We'll do the thing that you took issue with.
Yeah. And Charlotte?
Camden being destroyed.
Nice.
Is that for personal reasons, Charlotte?
No, I thought it was a bit of a different place to destroy. If you're going to destroy London, quite often it's central. And, you know, Camden sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although some would say over the last 15 years, it's been ruined enough.
I also love the little...
Yeah,
I also love the little clip at the end after the title came up.
Is that the table?
The table.
Oh, yeah. The
IKEA fall collection. Loved it. Thought it was great.
Oh, Brian,
I'm so excited. Richard Madden is going to be the king of the MCU, and I can't wait.
Yep.
I hadn't realised how much he looks like Sebastian Stan until I saw them compared.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah, they do look quite alike.
I need Mark Hamill to play a dad, and they're his sons.
Right. It is now time to talk about the well, it's been 12 months in the making. It's probably one of the most anticipated trailers of the past decade, I think, in any kind of sense. I almost believe it's more anticipated than the Endgame trailer in some kind of way. So, guys, did you watch this trailer on a phone, or did you watch it when it came out in HD quality crispiness?
So, what trailer are we talking about here? Just so I know.
Of course.
Of course, no.
Yes. You know, we don't even need to say it, do we? We don't. We just don't. Let's just talk about it.
So, I feel like...
Oh, no.
Okay, so I feel like I've gone on a bit of a journey already with this. So, to begin with, I was, you know, like everyone, thinking, oh, God, they've actually released it. And having seen the work print, which had gone around, I did, yes, watch it, and yeah.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Naughty.
I know, slap on the wrist. It was the phone within a phone within a phone version.
Yeah, so... and watermarked as well.
And watermarked, so for my sins, you know, Feige, forgive me. I say, please don't sue me, because I cannot afford it. Please, God. But yeah, I think in terms of like the expectations that everybody has for it, I think if it didn't like cure COVID-19 and give everyone £1,500 immediately in a bank account, I think it would have disappointed people. Like I think the expectation was so high for this this film, and especially anything that came out of it to deliver on a level which no film really can. And I think it looks like an interesting film. It looks like it's dealing with the consequences of Far From Home in an interesting way, and certainly kind of the ramifications of things that are going around that universe, or I should say multiverse at this point. And my only concern, criticism thing is that I just don't know if, especially with like the news from, I think it's CinemaCon, when Ghostbusters Afterlife came out and everyone was talking about the nostalgia being so great. I'm like, I don't know if I want a film that's just nostalgia. And I kind of felt a little bit like that after thinking about this trailer like a few hours later on.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I loved it. I'm like a giddy kid at Christmas. I cannot contain my excitement. I need it now, directly into my veins. I don't care whether it's nostalgia, too much nostalgia. No, I don't mind. Just give me it. Pump it into my veins right now.
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Hang on, we are talking about Spider-Man, right? Like, we've not said the title of the
yes.
show.
No, you're right. We haven't.
Yeah, no, it is Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah.
My main thoughts are that it's my birthday tomorrow of recording, and Benedict Cumberbatch has a mug in this with a fox on it, and it says and there's a fox sake. And I will accept delivery of the mug should anyone want to buy me the mug. The still of him holding said mug with his, I think, Columbia hoodie underneath, and then
I love how he's wearing the puffer jacket and then the cape on top. It's just
And then he's got Benedict Wong's character has gone off for a trip away, and he's having a party in his house essentially by having Tom Holland there. It's vibes I'm liking. I don't know if that aligns with I don't know if that aligns with the Doctor Strange we've met so far. So I'm intrigued to see if there's more going on there than him going, you've put in this request. Sure, I'll do this cheeky spell.
See, weirdly, I think it does align with the Doctor Strange we know, because the Doctor Strange we know is very arrogant. He didn't learn anything. He wasn't humbled at all by the fact that he lost the entire use of his hands. And lost, the career that he built so much to get to. And even when magic was introduced to him, and spells were introduced to him, he was still doing things that he wasn't meant to be doing, like like reading books that he wasn't meant to be reading, doing spells that he wasn't meant to be doing. He astral projected before that he was meant to. All of this kind of stuff. It just feels like, if somebody asks him to do a spell and someone tells him not to do it, Doctor Strange, we know, would just be like, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it.
With a toy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. But again, there are, like Charlotte said, there are hints alluding to the fact that it might not be the Doctor Strange that we know, and it might be somebody disguised as Doctor Strange. One of the... Oh, go on. Yeah.
I'd say, just how many Halloween costumes do you think have been born off of the Parker cape hoodie combo?
Comic-Con is going to be wild.
It's going to be sweaty enough in those places as it is. You don't need layers on top of that.
No, you know what? It's going to be great. I can't wait. Again, I like you said, Simon, as well. I think no matter what happens with this film, people are going to be disappointed one way or another.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, but I like John Watts. I like his other films, and I like his Spider-Man films. So, yeah, I'm sure he'll be able to make another good film. Although, having said that, the only other person to make three Spider-Man films was Sam Raimi, and his third one wasn't great. So,
that's very
history's not
true.
on his side. So, that's what I'm going to say.
That's very true. Yeah, and I just love how the absolute tinfoil hattery has resumed from the end of WandaVision. It's back in full throttle force. Like, I've seen Mephisto mentioned 6 times on Twitter today.
Did you see the thing about the calendar?
Yes.
I did see the thing.
That is
that
cool.
was interesting.
The 23rd of August, right?
Yeah. On the calendar in WandaVision, and that's the date they released the trailer. It's very, very cool. Maybe it was always planned like that. And then there's this new thing that somebody's put on Twitter that apparently a shot in the trailer, the shot where Peter Parker is on the bridge in the suit with the tie, people think that is Tom Holland's head CGI'd onto Tobey Maguire's.
Okay.
Proper tinfoil Harry stuff. But it is exactly the same. It is exactly the same suit that Tobey Maguire Peter Parker was wearing in Spider-Man 3. So
and the speculation about Charlie Cox being in one of his arm.
I'd recognize that ass anywhere, as people were saying on Twitter.
Having seen Boardwalk Empire recently, yes.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And then of course, very, very quickly, finally, is obviously Doc Ock, Alfred Molina making his return. Whoop. Did you get tingles when he said hello, Peter? Because I did. Oh my gosh. And then the fact that, of course, obviously, if it's Alfred Molina from the Sam Raimi universe, then he wouldn't know that Tom Holland is Peter Parker per se, necessarily.
I for one would just rather he did another rendition of If I Were a Rich Man.
Yes, the best behind the scenes clip from any film ever. I love it.
The octopus tentacles joining in. It was great.
And if you want to see something really lovely, look at Alfred Molina's wedding pictures from about 2
years
ago.
Oh my god, yeah.
Somebody, because his reaction to seeing I can't remember what she's called now, but she directed Frozen.
Jennifer Lee.
Jennifer Lee. His reaction to seeing Jennifer Lee walking down the aisle.
Really believe in love.
Somebody posted that picture as a reaction to the trailer.
Yeah, I believe it. Oh god.
Yeah. Oh my, yeah, that's such a lovely wedding, such a lovely couple that I didn't know existed, but it's so happy to know they do. Well, there you go. You know what? We could talk about Spider-Man No Way Home forever, I'm sure, but we must move on because it is time for the main. So actually, I tell a lie. Before we do that, it's time to talk about how you can support the JumpCut brand, because JumpCut has a Patreon page which you can subscribe to at a few different tiers, a few different Ryan Gosling themed tiers. They're all very, very cool. Definitely go and check that out at patreon.com/JumpCut_online. All the money that is kind of earned through that Patreon is used to help pay writers and stuff for the work that they commission, and just helps all of this happen. Now, if you subscribe to a specific tier, it means that you get to hear your names uttered by us, which gives us a massive ego trip. And also probably you as well. So thank you very much to all of these people. Chris Wilson, Enon Films, Robert Denny, Daryl Griffiths, Sam Luck, Orla Smith, Peter Hodgkins, Andy Meakin, Fabiano Rosas, Hamish Calver, Martin Richmond, and Manuel Bento. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world, and we love you. Ryan Gosling
said last
out.
week, we crazy stupid love you.
We do. See, I didn't even think of a cool Ryan Gosling themed pun for the end of that. Maybe I need to start preparing for that one. I see what you did there.
It was really poor. I'm
going to ignore you. La la la.
Oh, land.
Oh god, to go back to that film trailer for a second, I did love everyone comparing that final sequence to the opening part of La La Land. I don't know if any of you saw that.
It's another day of goblin bombs. There we go. Thank you very much, as always. And you can go to patreon.com/JumpCut_online to find out more. Right, it's time for the reviews. And the big release is Reminiscence this week. Reminiscence, of course, starring Hugh Jackman, Thandie Newton, and Rebecca Ferguson. And it's kind of, it tells a story of Hugh Jackman, and he kind of sells this experience that you can have in this post-war kind of global warming-esque era, where everything's really bleak. Everything's kind of just, there's nothing to look forward to. So people decide that they want to look back. And it's called the Reminiscence, where you kind of go into this water tank and put this thing on your head, and you get to experience past memories, happy memories, and of that kind of sort. And it just kind of goes from there and uses that idea to tell the plot of the movie through Hugh Jackman's eyes mainly. How did we all feel about this film? What's the verdict?
Well,
Oh.
Look, I think it's a really great idea. I think that Lisa Joy, who wrote and directed this, who also made Westworld, like she knows the genre inside and out. Like she knows her sci-fi, and I think it's a really good concept. And I love like a good noirish story thing. I think noir sci-fi is very underrepresented in cinema. Like you have like Blade Runner, obviously, is like the big example. And you have this really like in terms of like major features. And I think, I was really on board with the idea. I think the cast are great. And like Rebecca Ferguson especially, I think she is just wonderful in everything she does. I just found myself wanting this to do more. And I was getting a bit frustrated when the thing kind of, for me, ran out of steam. Like by the halfway mark, I just kind of thought, okay, we're just kind of going through the motions here now.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree. Like you said, Lisa Joy is, a behemoth in her kind of line of filmmaking and TV making and that kind of stuff, because Westworld is phenomenal stuff. And yeah, it did just feel a little bit underwhelming. I didn't hate it. I didn't dislike it. I thought it was good enough. It felt almost like an overlong episode of Black Mirror, but not quite hitting all of the beats that I think would have made it a lot more satisfying. However, it's an original story. It's an original film. It's an original idea. It's not a reboot. It's not a remake. It doesn't rely on any kind of intellectual property that has come before. And for that, I feel like it deserves to be supported. And
we're going to say the same thing. Like, I didn't love it while watching it. I've warmed to it more since. But thinking about what a world she created.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I'll give a shout out to Reese Roberger on Twitter. I think he put it quite perfectly. The world the world that Lisa Joy created was incredible, and you almost felt like you wanted to find out, or the story that we were being told was not the most interesting story in that world that we could have been told. And I completely agree with Reese on that one. I think that's a really, really good point. But yeah. Where's the original idea film crowd that always pipe up on Twitter when reboots and stuff get announced? Huh? Where are you? Where are you now?
That sequence where they go underwater with the theatre was beautiful.
Oh, that is stunning.
Yeah. You know what it was? That the whole film was stunning. Like, it was shot so beautifully, and the setting is just so interesting and so wonderful, and it really opens for an interesting kind of look. Okay, so moving on, we're going to move from a post-war global warming sci-fi epic to a little more muted area, to the desolate. No, forest isn't desolate. Why did I say that? That's weird. I'm all over the place. I need to try and get back in the groove.
Oh dear.
So we're going to a little more muted area. We're going to the forest, nice little bit of nature, isolated area with Nicolas Cage and his prize truffle pig in new film Pig.
Yes.
Simon,
I
saw your tweet the other day.
Yep.
This film made you cry, yes?
Not once, but twice.
Twice?
Oh twice.
My God,
this film
twice?
got me.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was. You know what? I'm as surprised as you guys. I was, yeah, I had heard people coming out of Pig saying that they were really shocked at how good it was, and that it was surprisingly moving. And I thought, oh, come on, like it's Nicolas Cage going rage mode about a missing pig, and like it's that for maybe 5 minutes in the film's runtime, and the rest of the film is just really surprisingly beautifully considered and contemplative idea about loss and grief and self-destruction. And it's, oh my god, I was absolutely taken away by it. So Alex, you set that up beautifully there at the beginning, but to kind of fill in a little bit more about it. So Nicolas Cage, yeah, he plays this guy who was a chef, was a chef.
Yeah.
It's a question kind of implied in the film as well, is, you know, do you stop doing these things because you're no longer it's no longer your profession, or is it something?
Oh, we're gonna get really
to?
deep about it.
Gonna get really deep. I genuinely, halfway through this film, and Alex, you'll know the point, the part where this happens. I kind of had an existential crisis during Pig, which is again where first tears happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's kind of about, like, you know, it's about purpose, and it's about reason and doing what you love, and but also kind of how, and again kind of how you move on from a traumatic incident. And it's so beautifully done. I think it's Nicolas Cage's best performance in a long time. I think he plays it so quietly. Like, it's interesting to see him do this kind of role, given that we've had like Mandy and The Color Out of Space and Kick-Ass, and like even going back to like Vampire's Kiss and things like that, and obviously all the things in which he has become a meme. And then you have this performance, which is like almost intentionally the direct opposite of that. And like there are characters around him where you have like Alex Wolff is a main part of this film. He plays this kind of very like bold, brash, almost kind of pathetic character, because it comes out that he's kind of living in the shadow of his father, who will play a bigger part in this film as well as it develops. And just, you have these big performances, and then you have Nicolas Cage, like he's not like barely speaking in it, but he's still like, he just kind of moves through the film, and just watching him do that is breathtaking. And you just kind of remember why he is like Academy Award winning Nicolas Cage, because he puts in that kind of performance, and I was completely shaken by it. And like the setup of this film does suggest like a John Wick style revenge thriller thing.
It's completely not that though.
It's not that at all. Like you go in and it subverts every expectation you have of this kind of film.
It takes the collective expectation, what we'd all think it would happen in this situation, or what we've, I suppose, been conditioned to believe would happen in a film in this situation, and it's almost like it takes the gun away from you and gives you a bunch of flowers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to give too much away, because I think it is a film that people should go and see. Like I said a couple of weeks ago that I thought I'd seen the two best films I'd see this year, when we saw Zola and Vivo. But I think this might be the one to beat everything now. Like I think I think this is like, it's honestly, I cannot remember the last time I sat in the big screen and have a film wash over me so completely like this film did.
Nice. Yeah, I think I can. I mean, I don't. There's not really much else to say about it that you haven't already said. But yeah, no, I think it was wonderful how like it just took what we would, like I said, expect to happen, and just completely flips it on its head in the just most hauntingly beautiful way possible. And the more I think about it, the more I love it. Although considering it's only a 90-minute film, it did lag a little bit in the middle, but I'll forgive it. because
That's
Nicolas
fair.
Cage was so wonderful.
What I will say is that third act in a film, I think, might be the bravest third act I've seen in a while.
Yeah,
like
fully.
it is just like staggering.
It really
so
is.
Good.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Right. Moving on. So at the weekend, last weekend, as of the day that this is releasing, I did a 4-movie day at the cinema. I watched Snake Eyes, then Reminiscence, then The Night House, then Censor, and I realized that they all have something in common. And actually, weirdly enough, Pig also has this in common.
Okay.
With these films, and that is that they all involve the main character going through or dealing with some sort of past trauma. Which is, I thought was quite the interesting little tidbit fact. And maybe we are obsessed with that at the moment. Maybe that is the thing in cinema at the moment. A bit of trauma.
But nothing else to do but reflect.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why.
Nothing else to do but reminisce, Charlotte.
Apologies, I missed that one. Damn.
Yes.
Oh boy. Is there a shared collective trauma in people just do nothing big in Japan, Charlotte?
I'm going to work on that. While you do this review, I'm going to think if I can find an angle there.
But yeah, so very quickly, I don't want to go too much into it, but The Night House, film starring Rebecca Hall. She plays a teacher, and her husband is an architect, and he has mysteriously killed himself. And she starts to experience things that could necessarily be supernatural in the house that they live in, the house that he built. And it kind of goes from that, really. Don't want to give too much away about the plot. I think the way the plot unfolds in the movie is really, really interesting and very, very well done. And I wouldn't want to give any of that away at all. Rebecca Hall is really, really, really good in this movie. She's absolutely wonderful. She does an absolutely great job. I think she's brilliant. She plays the character incredibly well. And it's so interesting to me that when it comes to horror movies, and it's kind of like Midsummer, I love it when a scary movie. I love it when a film that is really just about a person and what they're going through and what they're trying to deal with is disguised as a horror movie. Nice. I absolutely adore that. I think it's really, really cool. And The Night House does that completely perfectly. I think Censor does it really well, to be honest. We'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, no, really, really good, really interesting, very promising in terms of the kind of originality of horror films, and a good sign going forward for more original horror films. Good stuff. So, Censor, very quickly, Simon.
Yes.
How do we sum up Censor?
Well, this is an interesting one. So again, as you mentioned, it weighs very heavily on personal trauma. So this is a period horror, I'd say. So it's kind of going around the moral panic of the video nasties in the early 1980s. Yes. A time which I can say thankfully is before mine, so feeling young there. But and also just the fact that we were so worried about horror films causing a moral degradation around people at a time when people were literally being pushed out of jobs and sometimes into prisons. Thanks, Thatcher. Anyway, but anyway, so I mean, the film itself brings up that point, which I think is a valid one. So this is a debut feature from Pride and Bailey Bond, who actually made a short film called Terror, I think it's called. I might have that wrong. But she made it, and it's called Nasty, I think it is. And it's kind of, so this film was loosely based on that short. So the story in the short film is that there's a kid whose father goes missing, and so he looks to find his dad, weirdly through horror films. And so there's kind of a parallel in this, in certainly in the time of the familial sense, and tying into horror films. So the story follows Enid. It's played by Neve Algar. She was in Calm with Horses as well, which is also terrific. If you haven't seen that, I
yes,
highly
it
recommend
is really good, really good.
Yeah. And so yeah, she plays a film censor, and it's basically her job to cut out all the nasty bits of all the films going through their office and make sure everything is nice and clean, or clean enough to be certified. So the personal trauma is that at some point in her childhood, her younger sister seems to have gone missing, possibly abducted. Weirdly, the memory of it has been, to use the film's own phrasing, edited out. So there are hints already of an unreliable narrator. And as the film progresses and as Enid continues her work being faced with these disgusting, very nasty films, for want of a better word. So films like Driller Killer, films like films like The Evil Dead would have been, and things like that. She basically starts to see a person who may or may not be her grown-up sister in a new film that she's reviewing, and basically it becomes a bit of a detective story in that kind of regard. And is what she's seeing the truth, or is this the trauma coming up to build that? What is reality, what is fantasy, what is horror, what is the film within the film? And I quite enjoyed this. I think what were you thinking about this, Alex? Because I think
again it comes back to the same thing with The Night House, where it's something dressed up as something else. And I think that works incredibly well in the same sense. Neve Valgar is phenomenal in the role. She's really, really great, especially in the final act. That final sequence is probably the most haunting thing I've seen on screen in a very, very long time, in the best way possible. Like, it is masterwork, honestly. Really, really good.
Yeah, I don't think it's a perfect film. I think there are some rough edges. I think at points in the second act, like, there are some baggier bits, I'd say.
Yeah.
But I think, that's all stuff which comes with, this is a person who has made short films and music videos in the past. And I think for a feature, like, it's so accomplished that, like, that doesn't matter. And like you say, that third act is absolutely just off the wall.
Yeah, it really is.
And I absolutely dug it. Like, again, it's a very tight 90, I think. And yeah, like, it does not, like, aside from like literally we're talking like maybe a couple of minutes could have even been excised, but even then, like, it does use its time well. And I kind of want to see more. Weirdly, I want to see more while also seeing less. And I also really just want to see what Prano Bailey Bond does next.
I think that's definitely my line of thinking on that.
Yeah, oh gosh, I'm very optimistic about the future there, because we have so many, just so many new filmmakers coming out, especially in that genre. That we are, in fact, Picture House, which is where I got to see this, had a season of new voices, female voices in horror, where you had people like Alice Lowe, like Jennifer Kent, like Prano Bailey Bond, where their films are just making such a stamp on the horror genre. And like, this is just another shining example of that. And I think, we're bordering on a golden age, I'd say.
Yeah, I completely agree. I know what, I used to absolutely hate horror movies, absolutely despise them with a passion, but I'm going to be really honest, I've started to warm to them and get in there, actually.
Well, it's the right time of year to get into them.
Exactly, it really is. It really, really is. Well, there we have it. Charlotte, I've seen the Unlimited trailer before a film starts at Cineworld more times than I can shake a tree at for this bloody film.
I think I've seen Aspen Chowdhury more than I've seen my parents in the last 3 years.
Literally him going, how much are we going to get actually paid for this? Like, how much, Anyway, people just do nothing big in Japan. You are the only person who's seen this here.
Yeah,
so
I was thinking as I was listening to you talk about these serious, traumatic, thoughtful, emotional, horror-y films, that this is a lot about me. This is the film I saw instead. So Big in Japan, which is a song by a band called Alphaville, I think, and it's been stuck in my head ever since. It's nothing to do with People Do Nothing. Just thought it was a side note. I hadn't seen the BBC program either. I was literally looking for a film to see with a friend at a certain time, and it was the perfect time. So I went in knowing nothing and had actually a lot of fun. I don't know, I can't quite remember what I laughed at, but I know I laughed a lot. I will never listen to Dry Your Eyes, Mate by The Streets again without thinking of this film.
Wow.
There is a beautiful karaoke sequence, which will be the closest to the trauma we're discussing. It's our running theme. Nice. It was just so brilliantly done. And actually, the more I think about it, now I'm properly probing my brain. There are some scenes I really remember that are really funny. The thing I appreciate most about it is it's not a Mrs. Brown's Boys, the movie.
Thank the Lord.
And it doesn't poke fun at Japan. It pokes fun at the ignorance of the guys in the group as they go to get their record deal. And that meant a lot. I hadn't realised I was worried about that being a thing. And thankfully, it's fully, we laugh at them. We never laugh at the record label, the executives.
They're always the butt of the joke. I think that's quite the same with the show, actually.
And those boys that are ridiculous.
I haven't seen the show fully, but I'm a massive fan of Asim Chowdhury.
Agreed.
He was on Taskmaster.
He was so funny
and so great on Taskmaster. And he's done some great stuff. But I would argue, even though I haven't seen People Just Do Nothing, that Chapudi G is one of the best British sitcom characters of all time.
Yeah, and I'd second that in the film. He's utilised really well and not overdone. Nice to see there.
Perfectly so.
I would say with this film, I was thinking about it. I don't know the last time I'd seen a comedy at the cinema.
I know, it's been so long. You know what? Wait, me and my friends were walking out the cinema after our marathon, and we were like, well, when was the last time there was a comedy? Because they were all really serious.
Yeah. And I think it does the job nicely of being a very funny. And my friend and I were like leaning on each other at one point at a certain joke that, you know what, I will recommend it. Actually, I've talked myself into it. I recommend this film.
Good. I'm glad. I think it's been a particularly busy one at work, actually, I will admit. Out of all of them, people have definitely been going and watching it, which is good. It's great. I always love it when TV shows make the jump to film and it actually translates.
So you don't get many of them. I think maybe the original films.
But when it does happen, it's like a golden goose, isn't it? It's proper good.
Oh yeah. And like, I'd say actually no, Alpha Papa, the Alan Partridge film.
God, that film.
People loved Downton Abbey, the movie, didn't they? Oh, I've not seen it. So
enough for it to get a sequel.
Yeah.
So,
Downton Abbey.
Down to Abbey.
Well, there we go. Those are our reviews for the week, and it is now time to very quickly move on to our film club. It's back. It's been a month. What the hell?
Madness.
That's
time
crazy,
flies,
isn't it? When you're having fun. Oh, very nice. Very lovely. So the winner of our first film club poll was Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo.
Yes.
I believe it was just me and Simon that hadn't seen this film. Am I correct?
You are correct. And I feel like I need to disclose my personal history with this film before we start.
Oh, okay. Let's do that then. Yeah. Let's do that before I say anything and get myself in deep hot water.
Again.
Yeah, someone made a splash on Twitter today, didn't they? This was one of my set texts for my film studies A-level. And after kind of not doing so brilliantly on the AS for various reasons, mainly exams are stressful, I watched this film. I'm not even kidding. I'm looking at like 22 times.
Wow. Okay.
I watched it an insane amount. I got I like to brag because I never get to bring this up, 100% in this component on the exam.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
It was about the role of women was the question, which, I mean, you've seen the film now.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there really is.
And I really, really love it. I must admit, this time around, I could see what it looks like to fresh eyes. But maybe it was the circumstances of my watching it that first time. We watched it on the big screen together in the classroom, and it just blew my size 8 socks off.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alex, you go ahead, because I want to get the controversy out of the way.
Oh, we want to get the controversy out of the way. Right. Okay. I see how it is. See that
sandwich.
See that bus just driving by. You're gonna throw me under it. Okay. So
In your own time.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to work out what to say without annoying the wrong people. Do you know what I mean? And sorry, Nick and everyone, if you're listening, please don't fire me. Anyway. So is Vertigo considered like one of the best films of all time? Is that like
the best film now? Yeah,
arguably the best film. Yeah,
arguably. Well, on first release, the reviews were really sniffy. It was a really slow burn to get the status it's got now, beating Citizen Kane in most of the polls.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not sure what collective drugs they're all on, because I mean, Jesus.
Going soft on the phrasing.
I don't know. I mean, sorry, I know I didn't want to be controversial.
My God, man.
You know what? I can't sugarcoat it. Look, I think after watching it all, and it as a kind of full package, as a full thing, I don't mind it. It's kind of middle of the road for me. The way that the story progresses, and especially I would say the final act is the strongest part of the movie for sure. But as I was watching it, I was thinking, I genuinely believe having my head smashed against the wall would be more interesting than watching this film currently. But yeah, I must say the final act was decent. I was very intrigued actually how it would get there and what it was, and the way that Scotty was, his character is basically. I put a review on Letterboxd, and it was just 3 words, and it was just "men are weird," which is that's my summary of Vertigo, basically.
Life as well in general.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it comes under anything really. But yeah, no, it's so interesting, and like you said, obviously, when it comes to the role of women in these films, and especially and I've not seen any other Alfred Hitchcock movie. I don't think I've seen many. I think I might have seen 2, 3, or maybe just a handful of films that came out before the 70s. Really, just in general. But like I said, the role of women in this film is very interesting, and to watch in hindsight is also incredibly interesting. And I feel like, Charlotte, you probably have more words for that than me, and probably more interesting words.
Because I'm a woman.
No, not necessarily. Just because I don't think I appreciated the film enough, specifically.
You've got so many factors there. I'm not gonna do a whole thing. People far more talented and informed than I have said enough about Vertigo, but just in the idea that Jimmy Stewart was the everyman, beloved by cinema, by film, Hollywood, the world. It's a Wonderful Life being probably the most iconic Christmas movie there is, to then do this film where he is so screwed up and damaged is just, I can't imagine what it was like to be the audience member back then.
Okay, yeah, see, I didn't know that context, so.
And then you've got Kim Novak playing 2 different women, embodying them so perfectly, and the twist in that 3rd act. Okay,
I will admit, actually, for a hot minute, I didn't realize that it was the same person when he first went into the hotel room as he was following her after the fact. I will admit that.
and then the camera just leaves Scotty leaves the camera, and it stays with her as she reveals what's happened.
Yeah.
That moment, genuinely, I kind of did the whole like rubbing my hands like, oh, this is so good.
No, I will admit I did like it. I did like the twist.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting film. Like, oh well, that's understatement of the flipping century. I think, well, because I know a lot of people have said this already, but it does kind of, in turn, whether intentionally or unintentionally, say a lot about Hitchcock himself as a filmmaker. Like the way that Scotty treats, Judy and Madeline before that, before we realise just what's going on there. Certainly Judy after the fact. Just this whole kind of, like we mentioned before, kind of how Selfie was kind of doing this My Fair Lady thing. It kind of felt like that was the relationship between Scotty and certainly Judy, where there was this kind of almost obsessive, almost fetishistic, wanting to transform this person into their own ideal. And we hear stories about how Hitchcock was as a director of people, and there is certainly an element where that kind of seems almost self-representative. I know that Hitchcock likes to appear in his films himself, but this film's like, it seems more overt than even his cameos. But no, I think it's, for me, like I was the person who put this forward as a film because I'd never seen it before, and I'd seen obviously all the influences that this film had on cinema since, like technically, obviously with being the first film to use the dolly camera, and excuse me, and that in itself is just a huge part of just filmmaking and cinematography. But then to have, like, in the trappings of this kind of interesting noir, but also weirdly dark, weirdly kind of psychologically twisted film, which so this film came out before Psycho, am I right? In
2 years before, yeah. It's kind of like his trilogy of voyeurism.
Yeah, so it kind of like, and well, that actually puts it quite perfectly. I see how you got that top mark there. But yeah, and it's interesting that it's the second film of that. I'm assuming Rear Window would be the first part of that. Yeah, so it's interesting that he came back with Jimmy Stewart for this, from that film as well. It just kind of, it does feel like a little bit maybe on his part to kind of veer away from that everyman, and that kind of more heroic figure. Like obviously he was a bit more heroic in Rear Window, but yeah, but I guess for me, like I know some people, well obviously so many people and authorities far greater than ours have rated this film so much higher. I think for me, I'm still in the camp of Rebecca and Rope being my favorite Hitchcocks. I do like this film. I think it is a film which probably, like, well, as history has proven, improves and gains merit on rewatching. So maybe that's what I need to do. I need to go back and watch this 20, 50 more times.
I do have to, sorry, Charlotte.
No, you go, Alex. Go.
I do have to admit and say and kind of reiterate that I do understand and appreciate its cultural and film significance when it comes to the history of film and kind of how big of an influence it's been on the industry ever since it came out. And I would never diminish that, but for me it just comes down to kind of personal taste and how that kind of deals with that. That's my 2 pennies worth anyway.
I just want to, like, one last thing on it before we move on is just Midge as a character is the one I find the most fascinating the more I rewatch it.
Hashtag justice for Midge.
Oh,
I read, I did a little bit of reading before this recording, and there was an interesting comparison where she was kind of being put forward as this, like, almost realistic, rational love, or at least this opportunity for.
Yes.
For
oh my god, I think I might have read the same thing
Yeah.
as you. Yeah.
Yeah, and but she's constantly rejected for this more idealized and doomed love
dangerous,
instead.
Yeah,
and
it's dangerous.
It's really just tragic. And yeah, I agree, Charlotte. I think Midge is such a fascinating character. I wish there was more.
And I feel like the conversations that are started within that film are really relevant to now in terms of the romantic ideal, role of women, body image, that kind of thing. I really saw that this rewatch.
Okay, yeah. See, I already want to go back and watch this film. Like, I am I'm already enamored with it. Like, I think it was a really, like, on its own merit as a film, as a piece of storytelling. I think it is worthy of the accolades.
There is a screening this Saturday, or it is sold out at the Barbican. They were doing an outdoor screening.
Okay. I will say, and you know what? I'll always come back down to this, whether I hate a film or not. If the score is good, the score is good.
Yeah.
And the score
Bernard Herrmann's
in this film is pretty phenomenal, to be fair. Really, really awesome. Really good
Didn't
stuff.
Lady Gaga approach part of it for Born This Way?
She may have done, yeah.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, the prelude to the film Vertigo.
Yeah. It's honestly, I can't deny the mastery, to be honest, in that.
Yeah, no, it hits all the right notes, so to speak.
Hey, yes, it does. Right. Okay. So
we do have some comments from the people outside of this.
Simon, take it away then.
Well, I'll start with Sab Astley. Thank you very much, Sab. Who said, I don't know how you feel about this, guys. So he said, Vertigo is a great film to analyze and dissect, but just to watch it feels a little cut and dry. Just a little duller than the juicy mise-en-scène that it hides.
I mean, I'm going to politely disagree. But again, I think part of it's the context of watching it. That I think if you just saw it on a cinema screen, there's no distractions. You are just fully immersed in that storyline and you can't escape the warpath of Scotty, essentially, I think. Yeah,
absolutely. But yeah, thank you, Sab, for that. One thing I will say as well is that Jordan King, friend of the show, I think. I hope.
No, yes, definitely.
Yeah, he's the loveliest guy in the world. He very kindly and very generously shared an essay he wrote about it on his Letterboxd. I will put it up on my Twitter and retweet it for those of you on that platform, social media wise, so you can check it out for yourself. It's really beautifully argued and very well written, actually about the role of women and visibility of women in Hitchcock's films and in this film. So I recommend giving that a look. Like I said, I'll pop it up on Twitter for everyone to check it out. I think he's replied to me already, but yeah, it's well worth it.
Sounds amazing.
And just finally, D.W. Lundberg also got in touch on Twitter and said, Hitchcock's masterpiece, if by masterpiece you mean the work of a director encompassing all his talents, passions, obsessions, and faults in one supreme cinematic package.
Beautiful.
Couldn't have put it better ourselves.
There you go. Well, before we move on, we're going to do this thing. We're going to have a leaderboard of all of our film club films. So we're going to put our star ratings together to make a score out of 15, and then we'll go from there. So, Charlotte, what is your score? I have a feeling I know.
I mean, we're rating out of 5, right?
Yes.
So 5.
Yeah. Thought so. Starting off strong. Simon.
I mean, it's got to be a 5.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. Cool. Well, so that's definitely a score out of 15 then, guys. 15 out of 15.
What's the score, please?
15 out of 15. Let's move on.
Get your pitchforks here.
15 out of 15. What a great film. I absolutely love Vertigo. So, 3.
Oh.
There we go.
It's been a pleasure knowing you.
Well, you know, you can't win all of them all of the time.
It's been lovely being a host of JumpCast. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And I will see you on the flip side.
Oh, God. You can redeem yourself, Alex.
Yeah,
I can redeem myself. What did I say in the first episode? All of my film opinions are undisputable. So...
I mean, that's it. We'll wait for 50 years for the next critical reevaluation of Vertigo.
Yeah, and then obviously Shrek 2 is going to be considered the best film of all time in 50 years. So
Sight and sound.
I mean, that soundtrack is a
hear
banger.
it first.
Sorry, why would you want Vertigo to be a masterpiece when Shrek 2 exists? Come on, chill. Just chill.
Carrying on. Cool. We
Right.
should wrap this up before we really.
No, we probably should.
God.
But before we do that, we've got to reveal our films for the next film club.
Oh God, yeah.
Which is
let's call controversy again in a month's time.
So, next month's film club is going to be between these films. You get to decide. We'll reveal the winner. What film is going to be chosen for next month's film club on next week's show. So we're going to put this out on Twitter, the poll. So what films are they going to be? Charlotte, how do you plead?
Right, I'm thinking we're going to carry on with the trend of old films to get you up to speed. And I think I'm right in thinking neither of you have seen this. Casablanca.
Oh goody. Yes.
Okay,
Cool. Casablanca. Yeah. Awesome. Right. Simon.
Okay. You know what? Because by the next time we do this, it will be just coming up to October. So I'm going spooky, guys. And it's an absolute stone cold classic, undeniable. It's William Friedkin's The Exorcist.
Oh boy.
You're going to need an old priest and a young priest for this one.
So, it is Casablanca, The Exorcist, and because I struggle so manically to find a film that neither of you have seen, I have gone with The Black Cauldron.
Ooh.
As that write that wrong finally.
A Disney film that neither of you have seen, which is always a bit of a crime within itself. Although The Black Cauldron not necessarily as well known as some other Disney films, but there you go. That they are the films. So it's between Casablanca, The Exorcist, and The Black Cauldron. Although I'll admit, Simon, just a little bit early for the horror film club. But there you go. We'll let you have it.
Never too early.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you very much, as usual, guys, for joining me.
Oh, pleasure, always.
Yeah,
I didn't sound sincere. I did mean it.
It was.
Oh no! Don't worry, Charlotte. I know exactly how you feel about me now. I know exactly. I feel those daggers coming out of your eyes.
Oh Lord! I for reasons that are nobody's fault at all. It's been a very long recording.
Awkwardly looking at the floor.
I said nobody's fault, Charlotte.
Well, I would like to think that we've made Alfred Hitchcock very happy in some ways and very, very sad in others. So yeah, hopefully none of you contract vertigo over the next week, and because that would be pretty bad. And yeah, there we go. It's over. It's done. Goodbye.